And welcome to another episode of Sharing with Shellshock. I am your host, ShellshockPrime, and right here we have three guests here joining me tonight for Mario Kart. We got two returning guests and a brand new guest. So, Mike, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me again, Pete, as always. Much appreciated.
Yep, and good to see you again, EpicMan.
It is good to be back here, Peter. It's always good to be back here.
Yep, and we have ToonTris joining us for the first time. Welcome, Tris.
Ahoy! Hi! Happy to be on here.
Yep, good to see all three of you here tonight, because we all love Mario Kart, and we will talk about why we love it in just a little bit. But first things first, Mike, remind us exactly what type of content you do.
So, you guys know who I am. I am Mike's Monster Gaming, aka MMGMike. We do a lot of Nintendo content, a lot of variety content, a lot of retro content. I'm also happy to be one of the main people that also helps out Chris Clark over there with Mario Party Madness. And, yeah, I love my good old-fashioned kart racing video games. Hopefully I'm going to be getting started with a potential kart racing series down the line. But, yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, and I know that you've been wanting to do that for a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out once you start it.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. What about you, EpicMan?
I'm very glad to be here. I've been playing Mario Kart around like when Mario Kart 64 was a thing, and pretty much ever since then, I just playing one, and I always just I've always been like, I wouldn't say I was going to competitive wise when it comes to Mario Kart, but I've always joined it. I've always enjoyed it casually with my friends, my family, whoever wants to play with me. And then now meeting with you guys and playing with you guys was always fun to hang around and just play for just the funs. Nothing too serious, but I'm always just down for a good old Mario Kart session for any time, anywhere. It's always good.
All right, sounds good. And what about you, Tris?
I'm doing lots of Nintendo stuff. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
I mean, over on my channels, I'm doing all sorts of content, and I mean, I'm eagerly awaiting for when we get something new in Mario Kart, because that's like one of my favorites. So I'm absolutely sitting there waiting to like really cover that. Right now, it's been like all Mario Party.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Mainly big Nintendo things from me, but when Mario Kart hits, I feel like that's gonna just flood my channel way too much.
Absolutely. Like when the moment that we get a new Mario Kart, especially on the new Switch 2 or whatever Nintendo is gonna call it,
Yeah.
that's gonna be something I know like we're all gonna be excited for easily.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, 100%.
Yes.
Indeed.
So Mario Kart as a series has been around since August 27th, 1992, starting with Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, and there had been multiple games in the series since then, all the way going up to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch, which is now the best-selling game in the entire series. And not only that, like we have other games as well. We have like the arcade games. There's about like 4 of them, like one of them being the VR, which all of which were done by Bandai Namco. And there was also Mario Kart Tour for the mobile phones, which I believe was developed by DNA. I'm not sure. I think it might have been them. And there's also the Mario Kart Live for the Switch with the with that toy that they have that you can use to control it. And you can set up a Mario Kart track at your own home, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Mario Kart has been around for like over 3 decades, and it's wild how it just keeps going. And also people just keep loving these games. Like they're a lot of fun. But we do have our own favorites. Some of them we like more than others. But before we get started on that, let's talk about just what was our first game, the first Mario Kart game that we remember playing. And Mike, we're going to start with you.
Well, honestly, my first Mario Kart game was actually Mario Kart 64, and it's the entire reason why I'm even into video games in the first place, because Mario Kart 64 was actually the first video game I've ever played and beaten as a child. So, legitimately, because of my right hand and whatnot, not having the thumb on my right hand, Mario Kart 64 is the first Mario Kart I ever got to play, and I always felt like the controller, like I was able to hold it well, and I felt like the controller just felt natural in my hand. And so that's why Mario Kart 64 has such a fond memory in me, because it kind of taught me how to play video games in general properly.
Yep. Very good. Because I know how much you enjoy Mario Kart 64, Mike. So
Oh yeah.
it's a good way to start. Epic.
Well, it pretty much is the same with Mike. I played Mario Kart 64 as my starter for Mario Kart in general because what's weird is that I vaguely remember about Super Mario Kart being a thing back in the Super NES because when I had the Super NES, I had Super Mario All Stars, and that's pretty much what I play a lot because I'm a huge Mario fan. When I got the N64 with Super Mario 64 and a Mario Party and Mario Kart 64. But Mario
Yeah.
Kart 64 is my first and foremost. And yeah, I play it like just pretty much like any casual people would play when they first got into Mario Kart. And sure, I was not really good at it, but I pretty much beat the computers, like even 150cc, even though they were tough when you're a kid. But it was very fascinating for me because it was so revolutionary for the 3D games to come and play. Even though they trick you with how the characters look like with the sprites and everything, where you think they are 3D, but they just trick with your mind because it's all illusion. But even then, the whole game is all 3D, and the music is amazing. My favorite being with the Koopa Troopa Beach, like it's just so amazing because I love beach themes in games. And then of course Rainbow Road. Oh my god, the thing is top notch. Even though the track is hella long, but I always love trying doing the shortcuts because man, that was fun to do the shortcuts.
Yep.
Even though I try and die all the time, but even then, it's always such a good time playing Mario Kart 64. So yeah, that is my first Mario Kart.
And that's all. And again, a good place to start with the series.
Yep.
All right, your turn, Tris.
I'm sensing the trend here because I'm also gonna say Mario Kart 64. I remember I must have been about 3 years old or so when it was one of the first games I ever played, and I remember my uncle was really, really into the game, and what got me to enjoy it more than just like, oh, I'm just racing, play the computers, he showed me like the skip on Rainbow Road, and ever since then, that's what really got me into like time trials for that game and actually trying to do more than just win a race.
Yeah.
And it makes Mario Kart 64 like a really special entry to me because it's the one that really started it all. Even though I probably wouldn't say I was like super big into Mario Kart being one of my favorites until later on, it's still like, you know, the foundation started there.
Yes, absolutely with that one. Believe it or not, even though like Super Mario Kart came out when I was about like 6 years old, it wasn't my first Mario Kart. It was not. My first Mario Kart was actually Mario Kart 64. Going by this trend, we all started Mario Kart 64, but
Ooh, here we go, Mario Kart 64 Club.
But the first time I've actually played it was actually at a kiosk in at a Toys R Us back in early 1997, and I remember like playing it and not really understanding the game. But then I played it again in 1999 because it was around the time when my brother was admitted to the hospital because of asthma, and they had an N64 that he could play because at the time, like the main consoles that they had available were N64 and PlayStation, and we had an N64 available for him to play, and Mario Kart 64 was one of the games. And they had two controllers, so I just took the other controller to join him so I could play with him. We did some races and we did some battles, and we had a good time. But the first Mario Kart that I actually got into out of all the Mario Kart games was actually Super Circuit at the time, because that was the first one I've owned. And I did play Super Mario Kart later on, but Double Dash was really the one that I've played a decent amount of throughout like the GameCube's life cycle, and that's where I really love Mario Kart. That and DS. I really love both of those games, Double Dash and DS. And now it's like been playing Mario Kart all this time. Like I never got into Wii. I never got into Mario Kart Wii that much. Wow. I know that one people really like, but it just didn't really click. But 7 definitely clicked with me, and especially both 8 on the Wii U and 8 Deluxe on the Switch. With 8 Deluxe probably being like the one I've actually played the most, mainly because of the fact that I could just take it anywhere, and also The fact that you could just play online with other people, like 12 other people, 11 other people at the same time in a race is actually pretty cool. And and I just love enjoying playing Mario Kart. I just love this series so much. Just being able to race with any character you want. I at the time, like I just when I first started, I just didn't think anything of it. But here we are right now. Like Mario Kart is huge. So yeah. So Mario Kart 64 was my first, but Mario Kart Double Dash and Super Circuit were the ones that I was really getting into.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that was when I was in high
Indeed.
school. Because that was when I was in high school. So, the next question is, what are your favorite and or fondest Mario Kart memories and Epic? I'm going to start with you on that one.
Okay, fondest memory. Let's see here. I mean, there's always been like a time for me when I play Mario Kart with friends, and mostly when I play by myself, I just like to try to get better at it with computers on hard mode. Mostly I play on DS, but if I would have to go for like fondest moments for me, I mean, there are some that are just like me, just trying to like figure out shortcuts and winning battles and trying to like trying to get 3 stars or the best stats for in Mario Kart in general.
Mm.
But I want to say that the this moment, I would say this one broke me when I played Mario Kart was when I played Mario Kart Double Dash, and that game was not easy on me whenever I tried playing it on 150cc. I mean, it is not fun sometimes when you're a kid and you don't you thought you were doing your best, but you don't. But it's just sometimes the computer is just being an ass to you every time you try to play it because you want to get all 40 points, no losing below first place, and it was hard. I mean, I could not be able to do at all. So
Mm.
I was like, I was bawling. Well, I was like crying, crying every time because they keep hitting me with every item. They always come up at me with red shells, Bowser shells, freaking blue shells were unforgivable in that game. I'm telling you now. It was brutal. Like having CPUs to rubber band you was the ultimate sin of the series where they always try to get you. And I feel the worst with Double Dash, but I can also say the same thing with Mario Kart Wii's. Like I
Mm.
love Mario Kart Wii to death back in the day because I played a lot of online with other people. But man, I cannot forgive how rubber banding with the CPUs can be, or even with items, because sometimes items can be brutal too, because they just throw blue shells after you, power block, over and over. With lightning clouds, yeah, it has its flaws, but
Yeah.
I never stopped playing it because I just love this game to death, and I just never stopped playing it. I mean, heck, I know everyone remembers the infamous glitch thing that happened with Grumble Volcano when we play online, and people always pick that damn course, and people just wanted to play that because they just wanted to cheat every time.
Yeah.
I would say that was the funniest thing that happened, but at the same time it was kind of annoying. But even then, it was kind of funny to see. So it was something that I remember the most about it for whenever I play Mario Kart because that shit was funny. So
Oh yeah.
I could not forget that. And also in Mario Kart 7 with Maka Woohoo, when everyone remembers that shortcut before that got
Oh
patched.
yeah.
Yeah, both of those were kind of painful to deal with.
They were.
At least they fixed it in Maka Woohoo, with the patch, which was grateful for Nintendo to fix, because even then, because I had no choice but to follow everyone with the shortcut because I didn't want to use a shortcut. Everybody wants to use a shortcut because if I don't use it, then I can't win or even finish the race because if people finish first and left me behind, and I wouldn't be able to catch up. So it's pretty much detour, go over here. So
Mhm.
it was annoying as hell, but I'm glad they fixed that, and I'm glad that probably never happened again in future Mario Kart games. But who knows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Imagine Mario Kart 9 would have freaking broken that shortcut. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I would have ruined the day for like, get the heck out of here. God damn it.
Indeed.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that is pretty much my fondest memory because I always find some weird and funny and bullshit moments that just always make me resonate with Mario Kart a lot because it just it just gives me a warm feeling inside about how fun and chaotic this game can be, because it is a goddamn chaotic series that
It
I
is.
just love to death.
Absolutely.
So that's my moments.
Tris?
Man, I mean, Mario Kart as a series, it's so easy to come up with so many moments, but I feel like the one that probably stands out most to me is probably also the most obvious, if you know me, of a few years ago at PAX East. I think it was 2023 PAX East.
Yes.
Time is nothing right now. So
Oh, yeah, you know it.
Oh, yeah.
but Nintendo doing their big usual tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know, they do their regionals and everything, and they had the big qualifier tournament at PAX. So
Yeah.
you play in the tournament there, and if you placed well, you get to play in like the big championship cup the next day.
Yes.
So I entered that with my best friend, and we figured, you know, never actually got to do a Nintendo official Mario Kart tournament that wasn't just the online ones, and I figured it'd be pretty different. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. My goal internally was I'm gonna make it out of round one. I'm gonna like not lose right away, and I'm gonna do the best I can. Well, the best I can got me third place.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, that's really good.
So that gave me a seat at the championship cup the following day. So I got to be on Nintendo's big live stream the next day, playing with 11 other like top players in America, which was terrifying. Where my goal then was not get dead last, and I didn't get dead last, so I was proud of that. But
That's good at least.
I will never forget that, because that was kind of the moment for me where years and years of playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for fun and trying to do better with it. Yeah, clearly that paid off when I know what I'm doing with this game. I really want to try to be more into Mario Kart on like a competitive side and like understanding this scene a lot more. And while I feel like for 8 Deluxe it's a little late to like really get into that, my goal is to like hit the ground running when the next one comes out, like trying to get into that scene like right away, basically.
Oh,
All right, if
absolutely.
you ever want to learn about Mario Kart 64 speedrun, you can always come to me there, Tris.
Yeah,
That is entertaining to watch.
Knows well with Mario Kart 64. He is good,
Oh, yeah, totally.
really good.
Yeah, because Mike is absolutely like really good. Like you gotta see how he plays. Like
That sounds entertaining. Now I really do got to see this.
oh, absolutely. Mike, speaking of which, you're
No,
up.
I know. Well, most of my favorite memories are actually mostly tournament memories because I've done a lot of tournaments in the past for Long Island Metro every year. Pete already knows that story about how crazy tournaments have gotten. Like some of the most, I feel like some of these people are like extremely good at Mario Kart 64, just come out of the woodwork and always put up a good fight for my money and whatnot. Every year, Long Island Metro, I always look forward to seeing the same people. But besides that, I think some of my other favorite memories in tournaments was PAX East 2016, where I raced against like 127 other people, and I won in Mario Kart 8 during that.
Hey,
I got,
nice.
I got to personally beat Abdallah Smash in the final round during that year, so that was kind of fun.
Oh,
That's
And then,
pretty
of
good.
course, my most fondest memory, which I wouldn't have even met Pete and Silver if it wasn't for this, is Mario Kart 7 back when the game launched back in 2011.
Yep.
I remember we literally had a tournament over at Nintendo New York back where it was Nintendo World. And I just remember how ridiculous the final round was because someone's bright idea was to have no items during the final cup.
Was
And
not
that made the final round extremely easy for me to take that trophy home, and I still have it sitting on my dresser.
was not my
Nice.
idea. I did not agree to the whole no items thing.
That was still funny as heck, though. That still sticks out in my mind for that day.
Yep.
that's funny.
But
That's funny.
honestly, that's pretty much it for my memories. I just love seeing all these people coming out to all these different tournaments and just getting to, compete with them and stuff. And Tris, honestly, when the next Mario Kart drops, I definitely want to like start competing with you and everybody else that we love that knows Mario Kart well enough to like try to help each other grow in the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We're all gonna be in for the next Mario.
One
Kart for
hundred
sure.
percent.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I know I'm definitely looking forward for the next Mario Kart. It's been like over 10 years. We need a new one.
Yeah, we do.
Anyone purchase?
We're overdue for we're really due for a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, those are my memories.
Yeah. So my memories for me, like I have plenty. Definitely like whenever I used to play Mario Kart Double Dash with friends a lot. Mario Kart, but for me, like I have more memories with Mario Kart DS. Around the time like I started college and Mario Kart DS came out that holiday season when I got my DS and a couple of games. what I remember was that there was one time I remember in college that I was at the cafeteria, like I took out my DS and then someone else took it out and everybody was just playing Mario Kart for a little while. And that was like during like when I had like a lunch break before my next class would start, and I would play with people when I was a part of the anime club in my college. Everybody was actually pretty solid at that game. I would usually come in like top three, top four, but then like there would be some people who cause all the bullshit that they can, and I would get carded and I would be in last place. I'm like, this is not how I wanted it to happen. Plus people knew exactly how to stake in that game. Like if you knew what you're doing, you're always gonna be on top.
Yeah, I kind of learned staking recently in that game. It's not easy to do that, but once you get it down, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
My brother would take the DS because before he got his own, like we would share it. He would take the DS and he knew how to stake very quickly, and he would always like stay on top, either first place or within like the top three players within the group. And it's like that honestly, all the memories of just playing Mario Kart DS in general. There's like a lot to go with, but and especially like back in 2011, right before Mario Kart 7 release, there was this one place that we used to go to called Radio Star Karaoke Bar, where every Sunday they used to have this event called Game Over, where people could bring their video game consoles, and we would bring like Nintendo Wii, and then people would bring their 3DSs to play DS, 3DS games. People would use the Wii to play Wii and GameCube games at the time. And that was actually a lot of fun. It was like a 2011, 2012. We stopped going there because place ended up not being great afterwards, but that's a different story. But back to Mario Kart. I remember one of my friends like brought in Mario Kart 7 and we all played it and we all had a great time with it. But what I remember was that we were just playing Mario Kart 7 like no tomorrow, like all the communities that they had, the online communities, and every time I see like the top players, I always see you, Mike, in the top.
Yeah.
But they keep resetting the leaderboards each month. It was never, they never stuck it around with it. It's just like it just kept resetting.
Oh yeah, which leaderboards for Mario Kart 7 back when the communities happened?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But despite that, it was so fun playing Mario Kart 7, and I do remember again, yeah, the Mario Kart 7 tournament. Plus another tournament that I want to bring up was I went to Anime Next 2014 with Silver and a couple other people we know, and what happened was that this is where we met our buddy Moonlit Maple and his sister Miss Mango. They were there. And we participated in the Mario Kart 8 tournament for the Wii U, and they were actually really good. That's how I met them, and then ever since then they became a lifelong friend. And I think 2 weeks after that, Nintendo New York was doing a series of Mario Kart 8 tournaments, which I remember seeing you there, Mike, for the first one.
Yeah, I ended up doing well enough in order to come back for the next one. I pretty much secured my spot for the finals, but then I got my ass handed to me in the finals by some other guy.
Yeah, the competition was very tough.
Oh yeah.
I unfortunately did not get to go to Mario Kart 8 launch for the Wii U because
I regret not doing that also. I mean, thankfully Nexus got me the blue shell, but yeah, I forgot all about that with the deluxe edition.
Yeah, because my brother went in my place to get the deluxe edition because I had a sleep study that day, so I could not go. I could not change the date for that. But I've heard like the stories that what went on in that launch line was that someone actually brought a TV, and they had like I think they had some sort of a generator. They had something to plug it with, and they had an N64. Everybody was playing Mario Kart 64. Seeing pictures of that. Everyone seemed to have a great time over there. And I was at the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe launch when it came out on Switch. Except there wasn't really a line. It was just like we just had a meetup for Switch and Play NYC that day. Everyone just kept playing, and everyone had a good time, except for the fact that the Switch was terrible with local wireless. Still is, mind you.
Oh yeah, and
I remember
is
that.
to this
It
day.
still is. They got to fix that in the next console.
They really
to
need to,
that.
because the Switch uses a weak like a weak Wi-Fi card for local wireless and online.
Yeah.
But despite that, when you can connect with people, when it definitely works. And it was a lot of fun. Just playing Mario Kart locally with other people. Having such a high caliber Mario Kart back then that you could just take with you on the go. Honestly, like the fact that they did that, it made me sad that they never made a Mario Kart 9 for Switch, because I wanted to see just what they could have done. But I'm hoping Switch 2 gives us that, like, to see just what it can do when you get to take it with you and play it.
Oh no, 100%.
So
Also, yeah, I almost completely forgot though. Yo, shouts to Maple, by the way. I know you were mentioning him. Yeah, shoutouts to him because he was a fantastic partner of this year's LI Retro that just passed. Maple got to experience 16-player LAN for the first time, and we won that entire tournament too.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that was a great moment. That was my.
Yeah, the
first
fact that
time.
LI Retro always does the shouts to Eon Booth for having the freaking 16-player LAN mode for Mario Kart.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that was the best one.
it was, because having like that big Mario Kart tournament, like they would host like all those Mario Kart Double Dash tournaments every year, and this year was no different. Just seeing like 16 players at once playing Double Dash.
Like, if any of you guys can ever make it along on Retro, that's the experience you guys have to at least try once.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Sounds great.
But yeah, I honestly, like, all the memories that I have with Mario Kart, like there's just nothing like it. Like it's so much fun playing Mario Kart with your friends and with family.
Exactly.
So you can't really beat that. So the next thing I want to bring up is, what are your top 3 favorite Mario Kart games, and also, who is your Mario Kart main? And Tris, we're gonna start with you.
Oh man, that's so tough because I feel like the games themselves like constantly move around because like they're all like so good in their own right. And I feel like every time a new Mario Kart game comes out, it ends up taking the top spot for me each time. So
I feel that.
like especially just
We all
because
do.
it just becomes the one you play the most and everything. But I think really like really trying to zero in on it, it's 8 Deluxe as my top favorite. It's everything about that game. It's roster, it's courses, especially after the Booster Course Pass. It's like honestly, it's almost perfect, except for problems in the gameplay itself. That's a little different. So I would say 8 Deluxe is my top favorite. But I can never stop loving Mario Kart 7. I'm actually very upset they shut down the online for that, and the fact that that online also got like really, really heavily flooded with hackers. Even more so than Mario Kart Wii to a degree because the servers are on for longer. And it was just really upsetting because that game's so fun to play. I remember like 4 years ago or so, I tried doing a Mario Kart 7 stream with my community, and there was a player that would exclusively come in just to spam bullet bills and hack. And it's like, well, it's not fun anymore, and if the whole stream's that, I guess I'm going to swap to a different game because it's not entertaining.
Yep.
But I still have so many fond memories of Mario Kart 7, and I love the way that gameplay like feels. Like it really iterated on DS to me. And I love what it introduced with like the different mechanics and how that kind of built up what they could do with the level design for the courses. And I would say Double Dash after that. I know I kind of skipped quite a few there, but Double Dash will always be a top 3 Mario Kart for me. Like just that game on the GameCube, it still feels like one of like the most unique Mario Kart games. Like, if you pick up a bunch of Mario Kart games, you'll typically get it, but Double Dash always still feels unique compared to all of them. And everything that game brought kind of revolutionized the series going forward. I mean, it's very, very different from the 3 that came before it, and it changed it changed everything. I mean, a lot of people kind of equate that specifically to Mario Kart Wii, but I think it really does come down to originally Double Dash. And the chaos of that game is yet to be properly topped.
Yep.
As for a main, easy answer is Rosalina, but the funny answer for me is throughout the lifespan of Mario Kart 8, I've constantly swapped back and forth, kind of just depending on my mood, between Rosalina, King Boo, and Link. And then later on, I learned they have the exact same stats, and they added Pauline into that. So I just alternate between all of them, and give a special shout out to Petey Piranha, because I love Petey, and even though he's not the best character in Double Dash, if I'm playing Double Dash, I'm playing Petey.
Yes. Yeah, Petey Piranha is pretty cool. Mike?
So yeah, in terms of my top 3 games, that is a very deeply loaded question. There is a lot to love about every game in the Mario Kart series, but
Yeah.
funny enough, I'm still going to put Mario Kart 64 as my top game because I just have my nostalgia glasses on too tight. But legitimately, it's what got me into gaming in the first place. I feel like Mario Kart 64 is really where the game started getting experimental with the track designs and the track themes. It really started coming into its own. And, 64 has like some of the most memorable tracks and, designs in general for that game.
Yep.
For me, second place would have to probably go to Double Dash because there's no other game like it with all the unique items and the unique characters that you were able to swap back and forth. I love the kart designs in that game, and also just the fact that we had some amazing tracks like Rainbow Road and Wario Coliseum and some of the other great tracks that are in Mario Kart in general for Double Dash. I'm kind of pissed that Double Dash got kind of shafted in Mario Kart Deluxe's Booster Course Pass, but
Yeah.
that's its own can of worms to open. But the whole unique item system and the unique character system and swapping back and forth was just such a huge deal to me. And then I know, like, for me, it's a tie for third place because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a phenomenal game and I still love everything that 8 Deluxe did. But in terms of third place for me, I'd have to actually say Mario Kart DS because I love a lot of the tracks for DS as well, like Waluigi Pinball, Delfino Square, Shroom Ridge. A lot of great tracks in that, and I just love the mission mode, because mission mode was something very unique that brought a lot to the table, and it was also the first game to have Shy Guy as a playable character.
Yeah.
Because legitimately, if it's not Yoshi, it's Shy Guy or my Mii character as my mains for Mario Kart in general. But, yeah, the fact that, we had mission mode for DS is honestly one of my favorite things that Mario Kart has done. I kind of wish it would bring that back.
Yep.
Maybe one day.
Hopefully.
Now, what about you, Epic? Oh, yeah. Oh wait. You already said Shy Guy, right?
Yep, Shy Guy, Yoshi, and my Mii character are all my mains.
I want to make sure I got that.
Oh, you're good.
All right, Epic.
Pretty much is a loaded question to say that Mario Kart, for me, with being my favorite, having to pick out a favorite is tough because really, there are different tracks. The gameplays can be slightly different when it comes to with how mechanics works and how items works and just everything around it. It's always feeling weird for me to think about which one is my favorite. But honestly, probably my easy answer for me right now is the top one. I think, no surprise, it's going to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe right now because, man, that game has way too many courses to pick out. Way too many of them. And even though I'm a little sad that, Double Dash got shafted, but I also would say the same thing for the 64 because I feel like they should have gotten more courses for 64. Like, I would have loved to see Koopa Troopa Beach to come back on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Trust me, between Koopa Troopa Beach and Frappy Snowland, the way that both those courses were done in Mario Kart Tour, it's a crime that Frappy Snowland didn't get brought back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, even then, everyone gives shits for Mario Kart Tour, but I enjoyed for what they were doing, especially giving some tracks a good chance that never got to Mario Kart 8 because they really did good upgrades, like with Bowser Castle 4 on the GBA because they did a hell of a good upgrade on that one. So that was good. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe would be my top favorite for that. And second place, how would I say it? It would kind of feel like a sort of a tie for me with second place, either with Mario Kart DS or either Mario Kart Wii, because both of those with the DS and the Wii, DS being, I would say, maybe a little bit higher than Wii, because man, the tracks can be fun. Playing on battle mode was super fun with collecting the shines and coins and balloon battle, and even blowing on the mic was pretty nice touch to get the balloons up. Yeah. And of course, mission mode. Oh man, that was really fun. And the first thing that I would always do is just try to get all the best possible scores out of each of the missions and to see if I can get good at them. So, and even boss battles with getting trying to beat the bully from Mario 64. That was a nice touch to see to come back, and I wanted to see more. Like I wish they would have done more mission modes for newer Mario Kart, like because I'd love to see having you to do challenges to test your skills as a kart racer to give you what you want, and also just do wacky stuff with it, because just make it more fun but also challenging as well. And the Wii, well, as well as I know people always have some flags with how it can be brutal, like I said before, and chaotic, but I just love the chaotic mess that it is Mario Kart Wii because it gives me a smile to see people getting wrecked online and people just getting Mario Karted, especially the one infamous gif of Daisy getting wrecked in the DK Mountain at the end of the lap, where everyone's
yeah.
coming around with the items and just pretty much kicking Daisy down while she's down. So it's just sad, but it's also funny. I mean, you can't lie, it's so funny to see. So,
Yep.
but yeah, and then now for number three, it would be well, I guess I would just put this for nostalgia's sake. Mario Kart 64, because why not? First game, start of it all, and just love the music and the 3D graphics at the time were honestly very unique for me to watch and to look into. It was always fun to look at, and I love it. It's always fun to play. And then for my roster pick, the most, it's also finicky too. I mean, ever since Mario Kart we introduced the Mii characters, I've always gone after to find and pick out any Mii characters I want to pick and make to to resemble any characters that I like from cartoons or movies or animes.
Yeah.
Like I now with Mario Kart 8, and so I always love using the Mii characters, no matter what. Either because you can just adjust their height or weight. That way you can make them into either heavy, medium, or lightweight classes.
Yeah.
So and I even go in between either heavy or even lightweight of classes. So but if I had to go with normal characters other than Mii's, I would probably go with Luigi, or I would go with Rosalina as well. She's also was my favorite at the time. And also with to call, I guess I would say Link maybe, because I think he's also heavy as well, if I remember correctly. But either then, Luigi was always there for me every time I pick him. He's always there whenever I wanted to play with him in Mario Kart Wii, in Mario Kart 64, and now with Mario Kart 8. I've always picked him because he's my favorite character of all in the Mario series so far. So yeah, I would say Luigi for me. So yeah, that's my roster and my Mario Kart top 3.
Nice. Right. Sounds good. All right.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So for me, my top 3, if I have to go with them, I'm gonna go backwards in terms of 3, 2, and 1.
Right.
Number 3, I have trouble trying to figure out if I like what this one more than the other. It's both Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7. It's really hard for me to figure out which one I like more than the other. Like, they're both really good. They were both a lot of fun. I spent a decent amount of time with both of those games. I think I kind of like the tracks more in on 7, but I kind of like the roster a lot more on DS, as well as the fact that the DS has mission mode, and also the fact that for me, I will say though that DS does have it was the first one to have the retro tracks, like in a sense where they had N64, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and Super Nintendo, having all 4 of those. Like, I know that the Super Nintendo tracks were in the GBA game, Super Circuit, but this was the first one where it was the norm.
Right.
And honestly, I think I'll probably, but I will say at the same time, I love 7's Rainbow Road more than any other Rainbow Road in the entire series. But it's really difficult to pick one over the other. I might have to give the edge to DS because of the mission modes. I like the roster a lot more, and and honestly, it was just the fact that I could actually just play it on the DS back then. Like the experiences that I had were absolutely a lot of fun. It was great. Number two for me is Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube. That one I really like because of the fact that you could use two different characters in a cart, and you could be able to switch between them. You can hold two items with one character holding an item each, and you could be able to strategize how you want to be able to use the items and which characters you want to use. Being able to actually play in one cart with another person, and you could do like the whole 16 player LAN mode in Mario Kart Double Dash is definitely one of the best experiences you could possibly have in a Mario Kart game, especially if you're playing with other people. That and the fact that there's a lot of great tracks like Wario Coliseum, Mushroom Bridge, Mushroom City, Dino Dino Jungle, and the list goes on and on. Like so many great tracks. Like the music's fantastic. Very memorable. Like I absolutely enjoy Mario Kart Double Dash a whole lot. So number one for me is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I've spent the most time on out of any Mario Kart game. The fact that even with the Booster Course Pass now, you have 96 tracks, and possibly I think it has the biggest roster out of any Mario Kart game, especially on home console. I don't know if Tour has a bigger roster than that, but I know that on console, 8 Deluxe has like the most amount of any Mario Kart characters in a single game. Sure, I know that we have like all the Koopa Links. We have like duplicate characters. Like you have Metal Mario, Pink Gold Peach. You have Tanuki Mario or Cat Peach. But there's the fact that we have Link in the game. We have Animal Crossing characters. We got Splatoon characters in this game. There's just a wide variety of characters, like not just Mario, and the fact that like, yeah, I know that 7 and the Wii had Mii's, but here like Mii's have costumes. You have costumes for like Mario characters. You have a Mega Man costume, a Sonic costume, and even a Pac-Man costume. Where like the Pac-Man costume, you can see like the Pac maze all over the costume itself. I thought that's pretty cool. So to have that, plus also like other characters, like I think there was Star Fox characters. There was Samus and Captain Falcon, and the Blue Falcon's in the game too. Not to mention the fact that we also have that random collab of the Mercedes-Benz, like those Mercedes-Benz cars.
The Monopoly car.
Yeah, that was something else. Even back in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii, they hit us with some of these interesting collabs, and like not just that, even with Super Mario Maker on the Wii U, they gave us so many collabs and such. And I was like, okay, Nintendo, what the heck are you doing? I like what you're doing, but keep at it. Please,
and the fact that they kept the Mercedes-Benz stuff in the Switch version as well.
Yeah, that's good.
That is interesting still, to say the least.
Yeah, but it's funny how Mario Kart 8, the original one on the Wii U, in my personal opinion, has like the worst battle mode of the entire series, because all you do is just run around the tracks, hitting your opponents with balloons. And if you're playing with a lot less players, it's not going to be easy to find them unless the track is very small. Whereas in 8 Deluxe, they actually managed to give us an actual solid battle mode where my favorite mode in that is Renegade Roundup, because you could actually be able to do cops and robbers. And I have fun with that. And the fact that we actually have Shine Thief back as well, Coin Runners. But the one that I just wish that they did with battle mode is that they gave you the option for both Balloon Battle and Bomb Blast, that you can make it so that it's every player for themselves, rather than just make it time based. But other than that, I had fun with it. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is absolutely like one of the best games ever in terms of Mario Kart. And my Mario Kart main is just, it depends really. Like Peach is definitely a character I would use in some of the earlier games because of how fast she is. Or I would use Donkey Kong. I tried to get into heavy characters like Bowser or Wario, but it just didn't really do it for me. And the smaller characters, the only small character I like using is Diddy Kong. But but in 8 Deluxe, I gravitated towards using the Aikling girl as well as rotating between Ludwig von Koopa, and then when we got the DLC characters, Kamek being one of those characters I would use, Diddy Kong again, Pauline. The fact that we actually got Pauline in the game, like I was absolutely hyped for that one too.
Yeah,
so
I'm very excited.
so it's basically for me, like my main is basically whoever I'm in the mood to use, and I just rotate the characters just to see which one works better for me, and the card combos.
Always a good way to do it.
Yeah, so that's just it. That's basically my top 3 Mario Kart games, and also the characters that I main in Mario Kart. Now, before we do the community questions, how did Mario Kart leave an impact on you? And Mike, we'll start with you.
I mean, I've pretty much gone through it the entire time we've been talking, but again, if it wasn't for Mario Kart in general, I wouldn't have even gotten into video games in the first place. I probably wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Mario Kart in the first place, because Pete, you and me probably would have never met if it wasn't for Mario Kart 7.
Yeah.
And all that. So yeah, Mario Kart has always had a huge place in my heart, and I will always continue to enjoy Mario Kart. As other Mario Kart games that go on in the series, I kind of want to help people learn how to play the games more and whatnot, so that'll hopefully be what my future kart racing series is about, where I cover that and a whole bunch of other different kart racing games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's a good way to go about it. Epic, what about you?
Well, for me, I mean, for being impacted with this series, I mean, I guess I would say that if it weren't for Mario Kart, I probably wouldn't meet you guys. Because that's how I meet you guys when I did went on that tournament on Mario Kart with you before I meet you guys in real life in the meetups.
Yep.
So that really, I wouldn't be here seeing you or talking with you and having fun with you, because you guys are really awesome and you guys are really good Mario Kart players, and I always adored that. And yeah, like, and the thing is, like, even Mario Kart in general, for like being this really awesome kart racing fun genre, where we don't, because I mostly go towards with this kind of racing game than just doing with simulations or just like micro machines or anything in general with any type of racing. This one resonates with me the most because I love wacky, fun, chaotic mess of games where they just want to throw you out of the water, say you got blue shell, because that's just how life is, and just seeing how good you can be either with items or no items. Like, there's always so many things that can happen in Mario Kart, because anything can happen in Mario Kart, really. You can win by sheer luck, or just getting bombastic with blue shells and red shells and anything that gets in you, and you get Mario Karted. Like, it's frustrating, but it can be fun later on, because really, it is, like, you gotta know that it's all in the fun. Sure, it's hard to let that go when people just don't know if they want to keep playing Mario Kart, but hey, it's life in general like that. So that's always what I always see with Mario Kart, because it's just how life is, and you always keep getting keep getting yourself back up, because you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. You want to keep doing what you do and do your best at it, because people wanted to not give up on playing this game, or just want to keep on with their life and keep on going. So that's what I would feel about Mario Kart impacting on me.
All right. Awesome. Tris?
I think it's really just a case of the biggest impact Mario Kart's had on me is just creating some of the most like memorable experiences with like friends and family. Like, with being such a long running series that I've had like my entire life, always something to look forward to with my family, with my friends, especially when a new one is coming out. And it's a game that even if even if we play the hell out of it for an entire weekend, it's for years and years and years, we know we'll be able to come back to it and always still have a good time with it. It's one of those series that's just kind of eternal, and every entry at that, as long as there's a way to be able to play it, there's always kind of a fun reason to go back and have fun with it. And the fun that I have with Mario Kart with everyone is something that's kind of exclusive to specifically Mario Kart.
Yep. 100% agree with that. Because for me, like, I have so many memories with Mario Kart, playing all these games over the years, and just meeting a lot of new people, and especially like those who have at least been playing these games in general with me, whether it's like especially on DS, because for me, playing multiplayer back then, especially as like DS and onwards, met a lot of people who love these games, and as the time moves on, I would see how good people actually are. I would see people host like major tournaments. Like there was this one streamer, I think his name was Bear. He hosts like those big tournaments, and they were esports style, and they were amazing. Yeah. Like the presentation, how so many people just play Mario Kart over and over, like especially Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The presentation of it all, like seeing the impact with people in general. But for me personally, I just love to have fun playing them. Like, sure, I would like to get better, at least just to try to consistently stay on top. But but the thing is that the games are fun, a whole lot of fun. Like I had the most fun with 8 Deluxe, Double Dash, DS7 out of all the games in the series, and the fact that I've met so many people, like, and many of which, like, I'm glad to like still keep in contact to this very day, and all these memories makes me glad that I've ever have played any of the Mario Kart games. It's just not something I could ever like take away whatsoever. Like, it's just amazing that Mario Kart brought a lot of people to my life, and again, forever grateful for that. As Dragon said in chat, Mario Kart has really helped forge friendships. 100% correct on that one.
Absolutely.
And yes.
Yes.
Because that's just it. Like, Mario Kart brings a lot of friends. Like, people talk about, like, say, oh yeah, like Mario Kart, like, it ends friendships. No, that's Mario Party that ends friendships.
I mean,
we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Less than like what, 3 weeks until Jamboree drops.
We'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the those are the questions that like I asked you guys. Now let's look at the community questions. So first one is from Kyle Gamer. Knowing that not every character made it back to 8 Deluxe, who would you have picked for the return roster? So who would you have picked to bring back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that isn't in the game right now?
Give us Donkey Kong Jr.
Yep.
Even though he was back in Tour as a little 8-bit, but bring him back, 3D rendered. Yeah, like pretty much just bring him back. Honestly, in general, I'm trying to think of what else, because like they kind of just pretty much bring everyone in general.
No, they didn't bring everybody back. My personal pick would have been Rob the Robot.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Rob the Robot.
Rob would have been my personal choice, because Rob coming in was a very cool cameo.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have picked him too.
Especially the fact that he had the Gyromite car also.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he does. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob or maybe Poochie.
I was gonna say Poochie. The fact that Mario Kart Tour introduced so many like cool new characters, and the only ones that made it to 8 Deluxe were Kamek, Pauline, and Peachette. Like King Babam, Poochie, like there's so many great characters.
That Peachette made it over friggin' those guys. That's a weird choice to me.
I mean, and not just that, it's just like they also bring in costumes of characters that we already know. Like, come on, like I would love to see character costume choices to have, because that.
Now listen, the next Mario Kart's gonna have a lot weighing on their shoulders to bring all that in.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder.
Hopefully
if that really is
without
gonna
hopefully
be.
without microtransactions.
I mean,
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel.
We shouldn't
Cross your
say
fingers.
those. We
Yeah,
shouldn't
Crash
say
Team Racing
those.
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel.
No, please don't say that. I mean, that's gonna make people upset about thinking of the bad things.
I
that happen
know.
There.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Oh well, but yeah,
Like,
those I would say.
like I was actually gonna say Rob the Robot, but if I had to pick a character, was the Goomba stack in Tor?
No.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah, no.
That was Dr. Mario.
What
Yeah.
about Charging Chuck? Was that in Tor?
That was in Tor. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
then
Tor.
then
Yeah.
that's my list. That's my character.
Oh yeah.
All right. There we
Uh,
go.
Stone asks, let's say Mario Kart became more like Smash Bros. Kart. Name 5 Smash Bros. Like characters to be put in a new Mario Kart. Mega Man, Sonic, Banjo Kazooie. I would also take Samus, and I would probably go with Captain Falcon. Let him be in Mario Kart, please.
Mhm.
I was worried because your list started with 3 third-party characters. I was going to say, wait a second, we're jumping really far into that side of stuff.
Nah, personally, I would probably go Captain Falcon, Kirby, then maybe Sonic, then maybe Banjo Kazooie if I really wanted to, and then probably Samus.
Nope.
Well, for me,
I'd also maybe say Pac-Man because Pac-Man was in the Mario Kart arcade games.
Yeah, Pac-Man.
and
No,
he
they can
does have
literally,
his-
they,
and
they
he
can
has his
literally
own
port
game.
over the Mario Kart arcade GP Pac-Man tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had his own game, his Pac-Man World Rally game too. He was his own car racing game too. So
Mhm.
that's also that thing too. I honestly would have personally crashed because I mean, come on. I mean, even though he has his own car racing, but it would have been nice to have him as a guest character for a Smash Brothers kart thing experience. For like for funsies. So like Crash for me, give us Banjo. Yeah, Samus would be cool too. What else? I guess you know what? Fuck it. He was also in Pac-Man World Rally. Give me the Prince from the Katamari series. He was also racing in that game too. It was weird to see that, but honestly, fuck it. I want him in there. He would
Now
be
listen,
amazing.
Katamari literally got the baby park of the freaking game. They literally had like 9 laps on the Katamari course.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
no lie, yeah, and one more. I would say, you know, I don't know. Maybe I would say something out of the ballpark. What about taking one of the characters from the WarioWare series? You know, like maybe Jimmy T or Kat or Anna.
That would be fun.
Mona, like any of those characters from the WarioWare series, because they should get some representations since they are in Nintendo, but they haven't been utilized outside of WarioWare, so I might as well just give them a chance, because why not?
I agree.
They're fun characters, and I like them all, so give them a chance to be in a kart racing genre.
Yes.
And they're popular too. Like it makes so much sense to add them.
I agree.
Exactly, because I would say so. So that's pretty much my 5 pick.
For me, I mean, there's a certain character that ever since a certain Smash trailer, people have really, really wanted to have in Mario Kart, and
Oh,
that's
yeah, Kirby.
Especially from that one trailer in Smash Brothers. Yeah. That would be amazing.
Everyone thought for sure that was teasing Kirby from Mario Kart, and if for some reason still hasn't happened. I don't know why it hasn't happened, but it needs to. Kirby needs to be in Mario Kart, and I think that
No,
would be
literally Kirby
fantastic.
Air Ride track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could do something so cool with that.
Or
And
imagine if they tease a Kirby Air Ride 2.
oh god, that would be incredible. But I do also agree with bringing in Pac-Man from like the arcade games, and then also even like Sonic, 'cause Sonic has a bunch of different kart racers and just racing games in general. Like that would be really cool. Like I mean, they marketed Mario Kart 8 DLC with like Mario versus Link as like this cool thing, but imagine if like you had Sonic in the game and that was like your return of like Mario versus Sonic and it's in kart racing. Like, that'd be cool.
Putting Sonic and then bring us Resort Island from Sonic R.
Yes, please.
This might as well be our next Olympic Games crossover with Mario and Sonic.
It might as well be. So, next one. Oh, this one was actually already answered. Like, which Mario Kart game is your favorite and why?
Right.
We pretty much already answered that.
Yep.
That was from Grade 54. All right. Next one is from Dragon. What can Mario Kart 9 do to innovate Mario Kart? As much as I love Mario Kart 8 DX for sheer quality, I feel that anti-gravity didn't really have much impact as a feature of the game. I'd like to see them work on that more. I would like for them to improve on the anti-gravity, but
Right, yeah.
honestly, in terms of what they can do to innovate, there's really not much they can actually do. But honestly, if there's one thing that needs to come back in Mario Kart, especially Mario Kart 9, there's one important thing that needs to come back, and that's letting you use two characters at once, like in Double Dash. That's the most
Yeah.
important thing that should come back. I can't think of any innovations, to be honest, because
A,
I don't know what they can do that hasn't been done before.
a double dash mode specifically would be really cool. It's like a separate like engine class kind of thing of like it changes the gameplay itself if you were playing double dash mode, or even as like a co-op experience, having that kind of back, that would be really exciting. That it would be a great way to kind of build upon what you already have while not like changing anything drastically.
Yeah,
I agree.
mean, but how chaotic it would sound if you would manage to mix in both single cars and double cars into one thing. Like, how weird would that be? Would that even work in like that?
I'm sure they'd be able to find a way to do it.
Realistically, you probably could. You would be sacrificing the fact that you'd have far more weight on your car than most other players probably, but you would if they had like special items again, you'd then have access to two special items instead of one.
That's true. Because the thing is, even though I know that Mario Kart Double Dash can be pretty different for its gameplay and how it feels when you play with two characters, it's just that you playing with having two characters and you playing by yourself, you essentially just having yourself to drive and to shoot any items backwards or forwards or wherever. But I know they also have the thing where if you play co-op, your the character in the back can hit other players on the side if you press a certain button, or you can like steal items or something like that, because you know your character on the back can do other things, not just throwing items. So I can see something like that could be differentiated, that could maybe overpower single cars in some fashion. But even then, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind just having no limits for it to do that just for the funsies, nothing serious. But I don't mind for it to being separated as well, because really a double dash mode would be great to come back. But for innovating, I don't know really, because it is just a simple Mario Kart thing to do. It's just you race, get items, win or lose, whatever happens. But I mean, maybe get new items, I guess, something that would be different. But you know, I really don't know. Like, I mean, I don't. You can think of a lot of things, but you got to find something that sticks and lands. Otherwise, you're gonna have something of a mess that probably won't work at all.
Yeah, it's why I do think one of the best ways for them to do it would be to do what Mario Kart Tour did, of bring back the special items, bring back items that are like specific to set characters or you know specific characters, because that adds a lot more value to your character choices. It adds a lot more value to having multiple characters that you're good with. And
I agree.
A race is not just about the stat build of your cart then and how fast you can get ahead. It's how well you work in your item play, because you're gonna have items that others won't, and how well you can counterplay that or work with that.
Like you said, stats are one thing, but items are also another factor, because that's what makes Mario Kart so special. So you would have to think about the special items.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would end up saying. Like, I feel like item play is definitely very important when it comes to Mario Kart. So having the choices of like special items and whatnot would definitely be important.
Yep.
Like a double dash, I would just pick Yoshi all the time, because in first place I just throw the Yoshi ahead and keep grabbing mushrooms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I guess if I had to go with something, I'm probably gonna go with I'm more likely gonna go with like having like, and this is reliant on the Switch 2 having like a stronger like how we have HD Rumble. Like, how about like haptic, like a better haptic feedback, something for that.
I like to make it feel more like you really are driving. You know, I can see that. I mean, HD Rumble does a good job with getting hit by items and such of other things that happens with it. And yeah, like, but man, for the next Mario Kart, you would want to think about what would be the thing that you would remember Mario Kart for being. You know, like, I mean, Mario Kart 7. while it was great because they did the thing where you can glide in the air, go underwater, and yeah, like kind of like with Diddy Kong Racing because they did that first, but now Mario Kart is doing it. But other Mario Karts did differently to make it feel unique and different. And so it's hard to figure out what are they gonna do this time to make it feel unique and different. Like, Mario Kart 64, it's a 3D Mario Kart. DS is a DS game, even though it's the same Mario Kart, but it has missions and you can play online and such. That was cool. Mario Kart Wii, we got the Wii wheel. We can now do motion control now. That's cool. 7, like I said, Diddy Kong Racing kind of thing. 8, well, anti-gravity. That's also really cool, But now, what else can they do next? They can do anything. They could figure out what it is that would make it unique and still do Mario Kart. So, yeah, it's like I'm having a hard time thinking about what really could be a cool thing to have to make it unique and different than the other ones than just doing the same thing. But hey, I don't mind Mario Kart Double Dash 2 again because that would be great. But it could be its own mode, and you don't have to call it Double Dash, but you can just still have it in there. So
the other main thing that comes to mind is like a good like gimmick is less of a mechanic and more of just like a selling point, because like you mentioned, every Mario Kart has like its main like selling point, its main identity that someone remembers it for. And I think what could work for another Mario Kart game, I know everyone says 9, technically it'd be 10 if they count towards 9, is if you do Roman numerals. And you lean into crossover element.
I was thinking of that too.
You do 10 or cross, and you lean over to crossover elements. So not quite Smash Kart, but like you really go all in on what they started doing with 8 Deluxes or 8 DLC and 8 Deluxe with Link, Inklings, Animal Crossing. Yeah, but do a bit more of Nintendo stuff in there, more with the courses, and make that like the special thing about that one game, because then it's if its market is like the special thing of that game, it's the 10th. Mainline Mario Kart game, and they're leaning to crossovers. It's people will kind of understand it's for that game. The next game might still have a more Mario focused roster kind of thing.
Yeah,
that would make sense. I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be okay with that too. So the next one is from Shad. If you could pick any newcomer to add to the series as a playable character, who would you add? That's actually a good question. There's a lot of characters that should have been in Mario Kart at this point, but haven't. Professor Egad is one of those characters
that was gonna be my answer. Really,
he almost made it to Mario Kart. I believe that he was planned for Mario Kart DS or Double Dash.
Yep,
one of those two games. And
it was DS, and then they replaced him with Dry Bones.
Yeah, they replaced him with Dry Bones. Yeah, and another character that I think that should have been in Mario Kart but isn't. I would probably have to say, like, I mean, I kind of want Plessy, but Plessy's too big.
Plessy's way.
We have Speedy Piranha. No,
that's what they said about Ridley.
That's what they said about Ridley. Yes.
Too big? Not a problem. We got this new special card that's way bigger than you think.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I'd probably either pick Nabbit, Koopa Kid, or King Babam, or Poochie.
Well, almost all of those are in Mario Kart Tour, but
I know.
You know what? Freak it. Even though it was an item, give us Chain Chomp as a main character. Come on, man. Give us Chain Chomp. He can drive. He can use his mouth. Whatever. He can do it.
I think for me, obviously, I would want to see a Luma. That's kind of like my whole thing. I would love to see a playable Luma. I'm still surprised they're only in Mario Tennis in terms of playable characters.
I know that's kind of a shame. They should be in more stuff.
Yeah, like Luma.
I would also love to see Spike from like the Mario movie and like Wrecking Crew make a comeback in Mario Kart specifically, because I think that'd be like perfect.
That would be cool, actually. I would like to see Spike.
Yep. I would actually like if I had to think of another character that should be in Mario Kart that hasn't been in Mario Kart yet. Well, this will be a new character because Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I would actually like them to add the prince, like the prince that they added, as well as the Wonder Flower itself, like the talking flower.
Oh
boy,
talking flower would be fun.
Yeah, add the talking flower to add the talking flower to the game. But other than that, like, I guess Vivian.
Oh, that'd be great.
Like if we could, yeah, Prince Florian, yeah, that's the name of the character. But yeah, if we had Paper Mario characters, easily Vivian, Koops,
Deviant, yeah,
um,
Coops,
Bobbery.
Bella.
I absolutely love Bobbery. Though most of my choices will be coming from the Thousand Year Door and also the original game.
Oh, Miss Mouse would be cool
Miss
too.
Mouse would be nice.
Ooh,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love her. She is one of my favorite characters in the series.
Yeah. Like I would, if I had to think of one more character that should be playable for Mario, in Mario Kart, I would actually say, just let you use a random Delfino citizen. Like, just do
Ooh,
that.
like a Pianta.
Pinata,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Pianta is
Yeah.
another one I'm surprised hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
You let them play baseball, but not racing? Come on, man.
And I also,
Or the Nokis, you know?
Yeah.
yes,
That would be cool.
indeed.
Or hell, even most of Bowser's minions are in Jamboree.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, true.
Pom
Yeah,
Pom, like, Boom Boom, Blarg. Like Shad would actually love Blarg. And Shad, this was your question. So Blarg, if you're watching this, Blarg.
Yeah, the one that you specifically not the one from Yoshi's Island that looks like a hill, the one that I like, but the other one.
Or the ninjas too, because now they're coming to Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. The ninjas, yeah.
And also Clark in the chat says, we talk about how Wario has the best butt in kart on Mr. Scooty.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Oh, thanks for giving us that image again.
Yep.
Again.
But
Again.
anyway,
We've seen this before.
Matching the cake with the me in the moose suit.
now this one is the opposite. So Dark Keyblade Warrior has the opposite question of what Kyle Gamer had. Like Kyle Gamer asked us already about characters that were not in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe but should be. Now instead, how about if you can remove any character from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster aside from the Koopalings, who would it be? The easiest answers:
Pinkle Peach.
Pinkle Peach, Metal Mario, Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach. Easily eliminated.
Baby Rosalina.
Baby Rosalina.
Baby Rosalina. It doesn't make any sense. Get rid of her.
The baby Rosalie doesn't make sense. But here's the thing: when you're getting rid of those characters that are the same because they're different costumes, just make them as alternative costumes. Like they don't have to have different stats.
Yeah,
Just
look
make
at what
them, like,
Chibi just said. Make the
different
Koopalings all his ults in one slot and not cover half the roster.
Exactly. Yeah. Like make them alternative, like you did with the color Joshis and the Shy Guys and the
Although-
Toad.
Yeah, literally just do that with all the character costumes.
Although in the case of Metal Mario and Pinkle Peach, like they do have different weight classes, but other than that, yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. They can still add him in his alternate slots. They can just change the stats.
Like-
Yeah, I could say that too. Because I'm honestly, I don't
Like
mind
if they're
Metal
more,
Mario.
like, I feel like if they qualify as a Mario or a Peach, I feel like they'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Like, and also like if I had to remove another character from the roster, Peachette. Why add Peachette into the game? Like that makes no sense. Like,
I
They
don't
got
know.
snubbed.
maybe Nintendo thought, hey guys, you like Peach, right? That
Like-
was in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, right?
like,
Right?
Yeah,
because
no, that's basically where I stand on that.
we
All
already have Toadette. We don't need Peachette.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Anyway,
It's all me.
but yeah, King Babam should have been there instead. Like,
I agree. Peachette over Poochie or King Babam is extremely baffling.
agree.
That's like, look, if they really wanted something new Super Mario Brothers, add Nabbit. Nabbit was literally just in Mario Wonder. He makes more sense.
See,
Yo,
Nabbit
Nabbit's a great choice.
would have at least been good. Like, would have been fun.
Yeah.
He would have been stealing items. Just like
Let's see. So D Dog already asked a question that we answered, which was who's your Mario Kart main and why. We already answered them. Mr. Ben asks, you get to add one type of vehicle to Mario Kart in the stylistic vein of Diddy Kong Racing or Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. Which vehicle is it and why? Well, honestly,
Oh,
I'm just gonna say this right now.
yeah.
I want them to add a Ferrari. in Mario Kart.
A Ferrari?
Not for me. If I can go even a step further, though, not really a Ferrari, but I personally just get rid of gliding, like in Mario Kart 7, and just give us the full flying sections, like in Sonic and All Stars Transformed.
Yeah, like a legit airplane.
That's
From,
that's what I would do.
From Sonic Racing, just give us Shadow's motorcycle.
Dude, that would still be like the same motorcycles, like classes of everything. But hey, I will take that too.
But I would say the card that Sonic uses in at least in it was in Transform, Sega All Stars, and Team Sonic Racing as well. That's but also you got to have Sonic in the game too.
Yeah.
And I would probably say, like, if we're gonna add like some vehicles from Diddy Kong Racing, can we get Tip Top, Pipsy, and a couple of the other characters that were in there? That's that they can add.
That would be cool too.
Okay, but since the question specifically like stylistic choices, one thing that also just came to mind is that car that Bowser drives in 3D World.
Oh,
Why is
yeah.
that not in Mario Kart? That's cool. Like
Yeah,
that would
that
be
is
great.
cool.
I agree.
Why can't we have that?
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So
the
yeah,
next,
Also, Chibi just made a good point, by the way. Robo Mario has EGAD's logo on his cap, so it's kind of an EGAD representation.
yep.
I guess.
I just
but-
hope we can actually get EGAD in a Mario Kart game in the future.
I
I
agree.
agree. Yeah,
One day.
100%.
One day, absolutely.
One
Dari
day.
asks, what is the one feature you would add to Mario Kart to make it the best game ever if you had the power? That's a loaded question right there. A very loaded question.
Now, for me, that's not even that hard. For me, it would basically just be like adding more customization options, like let's customize which items are in the races, like have less customized items like we already can. But also on top of that, customize more rule sets for tracks and more lap counts and
Yeah.
more like speed items and whatever else instead of just the basic things. Or for balloon battle mode, let's customize whether or not it's in points or if it's in deleting all out of the good stuff.
Elimination. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that and also bring back communities and playlists.
Yes.
dude,
Being
that
able
would
to talk a ton about this, like having making a track playlist, like choosing whatever amount of tracks you want, and then just picking whatever tracks in whatever order, make your own custom cups.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be cool. Custom cups.
Oh, if the
that'd be
Switch 2
great.
somehow has Street Pass capability, which I would hope it might have. Literally, I would love to bring that option back where every time you got to run into somebody, you literally got to like race on their favorite 4 tracks and stuff. I miss that.
I loved that.
I
Yeah.
would love that too.
Like bring something like that back. What I would also add that I think would actually be really fun. I would personally like to have like a 99 mode in which that you race against 99 players and you have to be the last one standing to win the whole thing.
Technically,
Oh,
Chocobo
my
Racing
God.
actually did something similar, but it was with 64 people, and the top 2 of every set of 8 to 16 people went on to the next round. It was like a round robin tournament style.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And speaking of tournaments, multiple customizations with tournaments. Like you can keep what you have for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but also add like different things. You can have like a league where it's basically like you can have like a round robins type of tournament where like you could put how many rounds and then you have some sort of a league. Everyone earns a specific amount of points. Not the amount of points that you earn normally from like when you're racing with friends online, but after it adds up after a while, then what would happen is that you could set it so you could have like the final, let's say final 4 or final 8 players race it out in 4 tracks, and whoever has the most points in that wins. Or traditional tournament with brackets. I don't know if they'll add losers brackets, but they'll have brackets. Because like how Smash, I think Smash can go up to 64 and 128 players.
Which is insane.
Like do that, because that will actually be useful for those who want to actually host local tournaments or online tournaments. So that way you can be able to have people play and see just who comes out on top. So tournament customization is definitely something I would like to see.
Yeah, exactly the same. Like I would love to see more customization to of like options. Yeah, to make the game more accessible to a variety of kinds of gameplay formats.
Yeah.
So tournaments are always so big, or like whether it's like an actual tournament or like just a bunch of kids at a birthday party kind of thing. Like there's so many ways to having so many ways to be able to play the game would add a lot to make it even better.
Oh yeah.
For me, honestly, I think they should seriously utilize the most is with what happened in Mario Kart 8 is the Mario Kart TV mode. Remember that when you get to look at your own recordings of your own racing? I wish they could give you more like options for that and more options for it to just being like a legit theater mode, like in Call of Duty where they have their own theater modes where you can look at your own matches and see what you can do, point your camera at to certain sections, or just record certain moments, highlights, making your own highlights of your own tracks to show your winnings and see how cool you did, because I want something like that where you get to customize your own video recording of your own match of your race to show off for your friends and family and everything to see how cool it is to play Mario Kart. So, I would like to see more of that because what they did in Mario Kart 8 was cool, but I feel like they missing a lot of stuff with like giving you more customizations for how you want your camera to focus on yourself or other characters or anything, because I wish they could do more with that and save up more recordings to save for later instead of just saving into your favorites, because you can only save up to 6 favorites of your track matches. I wish they could do more with that than that. So yeah, I want it to be like a legit theater mode for Mario Kart.
A proper spectator mode would be really good too for like tournaments and events.
That also is a good would be a great idea. More controls too, not just like watching them.
Imagine being able to bet coins on them. Also, be able to unlock alternate costumes in the next Mario Kart, betting on whoever's gonna win.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat enough idea. Like
Yeah.
No, that's a neat idea. I would actually take that honestly.
Like the spectator modes. Like I have 2 different spectator modes ideas. One in which, like, let's say if you just want to watch a random series of races from random people just to see how like what type of cards and card combos that people have across from people all over the world. Also spectator mode, like when you're in the same room with people, you can actually see just if you just want to chill, you just want to take a break, but you still want to see Mario Kart from like people within your circle, you could actually watch the matches and you could choose to sit back and wait until when it's time for you to come back into the game.
Yep.
And also, I would by default let's make it 16 players this time in Mario Kart 9 instead of 12.
16. Wow.
16 players.
That would be chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be.
I love it. Thank you for giving me.
And this last question is from Clark. If they were to ever make a Double Dash 2, what pairs and special item ideas would you like to have? Good question. Very good question.
Pairs and special. Huh.
Yep.
Let me think.
I would say that if they wanted to do pairs, I would have to think of pairs, but I would probably put it's like we would have Peach and Daisy, but I would also want to have I'm trying to think of who I would pair Pauline with.
I mean, well, you can go back with Donkey Kong. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have a history together, so why not give them a good? They could like do like a cool duet singing kind of thing when they are together. Like Pauline would sing and Donkey Kong would be on the bongos and he would play, and they both do like a little musical duet, and they cause a chaotic sound barrier breaking thing when they just wrecked everyone in the track. That'd be interesting.
Hear me out. It's Pauline with Birdo, because in the Paper Mario games, Birdo does a bunch of the singing too. And their special item is basically the super horn.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, I almost forgot about Birdo. That was in Origami King, right?
And I think she has a little musical performance in like Sega Star, Color Splash, Origami King all together. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I see. Personally, I would actually just say Rosalina and Luma and have the dash gate from Tor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would also be very clever.
That would be very clever.
It would be, cool. Yes.
Or the
Um,
Sling Star from Galaxy or whatever.
Oh, and you know what? If they ever bring EGAT, prepare him with Luigi so they can use their Poltergust 5000 or whatever.
Yeah,
they
like an
have
item
their new
vacuum for like
invention.
a couple of seconds. They like get stuck up with the first item they see and they spit it forward.
Yeah, they can either suck it out or keep it or something like that. They could do
One of the
whatever with
two.
it.
Mario
That would
would
be cool.
Mario would have the Cappy from Super Mario Odyssey as a special item.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
I
That'd be
w-
really cool.
I would also like to see him turn into Elephant Mario at some point. Sure, he'll change weight class,
Yeah.
but I want to see that. See how he could actually race as Elephant Mario. But don't make Elephant Mario a separate character. Just make it as like a power up.
Yeah, it would
Actually,
be kind of cool to see Monty Mole use the drill mushroom from Wonder.
Ooh.
Yes.
but you know what? You know what? If for Mario, have him the exclusive item to have the elephant mushroom item, so he can turn into an elephant for a short period of time. He can bash other characters so they can get pushed out of the track or so. You know,
That would be
Or just
interesting.
only temporarily. That would be an interesting idea.
Yep.
I can see that working.
Yeah. And another special item I could probably think of, the Wonder Flower.
Oh my!
I use someone will use the Wonder Flower and then literally the entire track just gets distorted.
Yes.
That sounds
I could see that.
that sounds more like something you'd have as like not quite a hazard, but like something to affect each course, almost like you know, like on the Yoshi's Island course. If
Oh
you
yeah,
hit
touch
the
fuzz to
course-
get dizzy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if you hit the Yoshi the cloud on Yoshi's Island, it makes the extra path appear. If you hit a Wonder Flower in a course, it drastically changes the course for the rest of the race. That could be interesting.
That would be cool.
Yep.
That's not quite a special item. That's more a special board event, but
True. That's also true. So maybe that would be for like anything that happens in a track where it is as it is. Or if you don't like that, you can just turn off as a setting and just race the tracks as normal. You know, that would be cool. Like as a setting.
Yep. Yeah, like one more I do want to come up with one more item that they could probably come up with for as a special item in the next Mario Kart game. Imagine that they did an item that was based off of Luigi's Mansion.
ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Luigi could have the Poltergust,
Yeah.
but I could probably see maybe a guy coming up with something like a lot more crazier than the Poltergust. He'll probably come up with something more advanced than that.
Yeah, that or if like a Paper Mario character made it and you could use the Dizzy dial and literally make the entire screen spin for everybody.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna make my head dizzy if that happens. Jesus.
The only thing I could think of otherwise would be from like Luigi's Mansion, like the strobe light that you used in 2 and 3 to like blind players, basically
my
like the blooper.
God.
But
Yeah, it would make, and you know what? It will make your control feel all weirdly distorted, and you couldn't be able to keep in balance with how you drive. So yeah, because your characters are getting blind. Ah, I'm blind, and you gotta wait it out till you set yourself straight.
mm-hmm.
So I could see that working too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, even then, like speaking of Paper Mario, when you mentioned about the Dizzy Dial, you can also use the sheep item too, so you can make people fall asleep for a little bit, just like in Kirby's Air Ride, when you accidentally suck up that one enemy that makes you
Yeah,
fall
the
asleep.
sleep power up.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So that could be a thing too, where you can just temporarily make yourself go to sleep.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
All right. I think
Like,
we'll wrap it up here. That was actually a really good discussion.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
of course.
Oh, actually,
I
wait,
enjoyed
hold up, one more. What's our favorite Bowser's Castle? We got to do that. We have
Bowser's
to.
Castle? Okay. I thought we would expect to say Rainbow Road, but hey, I'll take this.
That's so tough because there's so many really good ones.
I mean, if
Mike, you're muted.
There's something wrong with his mic?
Can you repeat what you just said, Mike?
I think his mic is all weird.
Yeah.
He'll
That
probably
said,
get-
I guess I'll go with mine real quick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Bowser Castle, but I'm also gonna go with the remake of the Super Nintendo Bowser Castle 3.
That's so good.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good.
But what were you saying, Mike?
Oh no, well I don't know why my microphone wire is cutting in and out on me. I was saying that if I had to go with like favorite Bowser's Castle, I'd go with the GameCube Double Dash's Bowser's Castle. If we're going Rainbow Roads, I'd go with either 7s or 64s.
Yeah.
Oh, mostly for me is 64. I had a lot of fun memories on that track. So many times of going through the thwomps coming in to block your path, and going through the bridge, and going through the spiral staircase around to get to the top of the castle, and then getting off. And yeah, like it is so fun. And the music, oh my god, I feel like the music was so mesmerizing too, with just the orchestrated parts of it, where people just going oh like
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
so
see, I appreciate the N64 remake of Wii, because honestly, I cursed at the freaking 64 because that always kills all my speed runs.
Yeah.
yeah, I do lie. I know that one is like the block path for you to get the most of your speed runs right.
Yeah, because it's jank. The thwomps are janky in that course in the original. They did a much better job in the remake.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they have to, because I mean, it would have been even harder if they made the thwomps go back, go side to side even faster, and just they trying to juke you out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll give a special shout out to 3DS Bowser Castle from Mario Kart 7. I love that course. I think that one's so fun.
That one's fun, yes.
Yeah, I had a good time with that one too.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for Mario Kart, the Mario Kart episode of Sharing with Shellshock. Again, thank you guys for being a part of this. I really appreciate
No,
it.
thanks for having us as
Yeah,
usual.
thank you for inviting me. This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But before we sign off, Mike, where can we find you?
You can pretty much find me over on Twitch, YouTube, all those good old social media platforms under either MMGMike or MMGMike22. On my Twitch channel, I have a pop-up link that'll lead you to all of my different social media links. I also offer custom gameplay recordings for people on my Fiverr if you ever need gameplay recorded and other stuff. So yeah, feel free to hit me up if you need gameplay recorded.
Yep. And
Nice.
Big Man, what about you?
For me, I pretty much stream whenever I can on my Twitch channel, TheEpicMan World. I do pretty much a lot of variety of games of Mario, Splatoon, and any other PC games too as well. And also on my Twitter as well, TheEpicMan World, same handler. So I pretty much am there, and also on Blue Sky as well too. So I'm there too. But yeah, I pretty much do streaming whenever I can, but I also want to have fun with people and just joining in on the fun. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
Yep. All right. And Tris, what about you?
You guys can find me over on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, at ToonTris, pretty much on all of those. Doing tons of different content. Most of my streams are over on Twitch. That's where I tend to play a lot of like multiplayer games, or some games I'm trying to get through just for fun. And then over on YouTube is where I'm doing more like gameplay videos, analysis videos. I'm gonna be trying to do like previews, reviews, things like that. All the things I'm used to doing, but doing them on my own channel now. Should be fun.
All right.
Nice.
And as always, you can find me pretty much just about anywhere within the stratosphere at ShellshockPrime. I do a lot of daily streams from Monday through Thursdays, from 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern until about like midnight Eastern time. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through. The next episode of Sharing with Shellshock is going to be happening on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is the 50th episode special, which is going to be a completely different format than what I've been normally doing. And the way it's going to work is all the guests will we'll pick 2 of their favorite games of all time, and they have to find like the flaws in each of those games, which will be difficult for them because they would really love these games, but they have to find like as many flaws with these games as possible. And then after that, 2 games that are probably some of their least favorite games of all time, and they have to say the most positive things about those games, which will not be easy for some people. But yes,
I can easily do that.
yes, but that one,
So you say.
yes, but that one is definitely going to be a fun one. That's going to be happening this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to it. All right, so with that in mind, I appreciate you guys coming through. Thanks as always for tuning in, and to everybody that came in, make sure to take care of yourselves. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Tell your loved ones you love them. Check out them as always. Make sure to fight for lasting peace, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next stream. And y'all have a wonderful night, everybody. Good night.
Take care, guys.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.